everyone, my name is Venice Irving and I am CEO of Happy Teachers, and today we're going to be talking about the topic of productivity and how teachers can become productive in 2021. So let's get started. So my first tip for your productivity and to increase your productivity this year is, I would say, the first thing you do is before the year begins, you do an assessment of the year. So personally speaking, what I do is at the end of each year, around the third week of December in each year, I start to look back at the past 11 months and I look at what was done, what was gained, how productive I was, and what were the goals and plans that were achieved within the year. I make a formal assessment, I look through and see what was done, what was not done, and what I can carry over into 21 as a continuation, maybe a project that was started in 2020, but I didn't finish it, so I need to take it over into 2021. I also look at the new objectives that I'm gonna want to achieve, all the things that I'm thinking of, and I break them down under different headings, and I ensure that I don't overwhelm myself, but I give myself enough time to achieve these goals and to do them thoroughly and do them well. All right, so the second tip I have for you is to try to see if you can start writing a top 3 of the day. So there are times when the day runs off. We know there are 12 hours in the day, in daytime, right? And within those 12 hours, we have work. Sometimes we work 8 hours a day, correct? And within those 8 hours, sometimes we don't even get one thing done. So what I have done, I have listened to a YouTube channel. Her name is Erin On Demand, and she has suggested doing a top 3. So every day you just write 3 things that you need to accomplish for that day. Only 3. And it has worked for me well. I just write in my notebook. Sometimes I have a small whiteboard that I use, and I just jot that down. And it reminds me that every day I need to be productive. It could be as simple as making sure that my family has a home cooked meal. That could be an objective for the day. It could be, starting grading papers. Those dreaded papers that we have to grade. Maybe just saying, okay, let me start grade. I don't have to finish, but let me start something. And then I know once I start, then I'll get that energy and that drive to finish and to follow through. All right, so that's another tip that I want to tell you, just to break down what you need to do and do them. Just choose a top 3 each day. Now, in addition to the top 3 each day, you can have a top 3 for the week. 3 medium-sized goals that you would want to achieve for the week before the week is out. You can also have a top 3 for the month, or a top 3 for the year. Now, a top 3 for the year is a much bigger, larger scale project or goal that you may have in mind that may take you the entire year to do. I know many of us have our plans and so forth, but we need to break down our plans so that we can actually achieve those plans and be productive. So one top 3, a yearly goal could be writing a book, finishing your book. So that may take you a year. Yeah. So that could be one objective. A second objective rather could be starting your business, registering your business and trying to gain clients for that business for that year. That could also be an objective. So break down your objectives daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly, and do them within that top 3 bracket. Nothing more than that, because if you do more than that, then you become overwhelmed. Now, if you're a super productive person, you could probably do a top 5. If you want to add 2 more to that and do a top 5 for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, that's up to you. So it really depends on how much you can handle, how much free time you have, and how much productivity you need for the day, week, month, or year. All right, another tip I want to give you, this is my third tip, will be a scheduling app. There are many apps on the phones right now that you can use to schedule your day, schedule your month. There are many time planners. My husband uses a daily time planner. It's like an alarm clock, right? So he plans his day. When he wakes up, when it's his snooze time, and when he definitely has to get up. So the alarm rings like 3 times in the morning, and then he has, when the different projects he needs to hand in for work, the different things he has to do for his son, and family up, goals and activities that he has to do, and he puts those on his phone and gives he schedules it so that when it's the deadline or the due date is coming up, then there's a ring, there's some notification that reminds him that, hey, the time is coming up, there's a project due, you need to get cracking. All right. The fourth tip I have for you is to plan the night before. If you know you have a busy day, as you know, we as teachers are busy, even though we're doing online classes, the work never ends, and time is still, it's like crunch time. Even though it's online, I would think that we'll have more time to do things. We actually don't. And many of us find that online work is actually harder than face-to-face work. Who can testify? I find that online work is actually harder than face-to-face or in the classroom work. So planning the night before, planning what you need to do, ensure that all things are ready, and if you need a pencil, a pen, if you need art and craft supplies, whatever you need for your class the next day, it is there and ready for you to go. So planning the night before, planning your classes the night before always helps. Another tip I have for you, I think this is the fifth or sixth one, not sure, but a self-care plan. And always, when you do have a self-care plan, you list out activities that you want to do all on your own to rejuvenate yourself, or else you'll be drained, right? So we need to take time for self-care to rejuvenate ourselves so that we can get energy to move on. I find that the time I find self-care activities to do is over the weekend. I mean, during the week it's kind of rough with the classes, and sometimes I have evening classes, and then my son has classes, I have to oversee him, and sometimes it gets like a little crunchy, you know what I mean? Time crunch during the weekdays. But on the weekends, I find that I'm a little bit more relaxed and I have a little bit more time to take care of myself. So schedule self-care activities over the weekend so that you can relax, take a deep breath in, and go forth into the next week ready and refreshed. All right. Another tip is to cut down on social media. Many of us have social media platforms that we follow. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and all the others, Twitter, etc., etc. Right? But I find that just scrolling and looking at people's business on social media is a grand waste of time. So if you must do it though, because for example, I am the CEO of Happy Teachers, and we do have platforms on social media that we have to manage every day. So I have to go on to see what's going on. My assistant does most of the posting, but I do oversee what she does, and I also look at the comments and so forth. So I ensure that I find maybe even a 20-minute bracket each day to go and look and see. If I can't find that 20-minute time bracket, I will ask my assistant to go and look and to ensure that things are looking good, that the comments are positive, and that no one is out of line. You know how it can be on social media. So that's one suggestion I would make for you, is to just schedule the time when you'll do social media. Is it early in the morning? Is it late at night? Is it midday when you're having lunch? And you can take your phone and scroll through. So find time for that. Sometimes many people go and look at social media for leisure activities. They watch a little short video clip. They look at funny videos and listen to songs on social media. And yeah, it can really release stress. So don't eliminate social media from your life. My suggestion is to schedule it so that you don't waste time. And the last tip I have for you is to get a personal assistant now. Don't kill me. I know it can be expensive, but if you go on 5R, you can get virtual assistants for like an hour, an hourly pay. So if you can only pay them for 1 hour for the week or 2 hours for the week, you give them some admin work to do to cut down on your work that you have, the pile up of work that you have. And hire that person. If not, maybe you want to hire a Jamaican to do some extra chores for you, you can just put it on your social media page and say, hey, I'm looking for a virtual assistant or a personal assistant, 2 hours for the week, and I can pay this amount. And that's it. And because they are virtual and because they're part-time, you actually schedule them when you need them. So if this week you don't need an assistant, then you don't call them, right? And it kind of frees you up, especially when you have a lot of paperwork to do, a lot of marking, maybe planning lessons and so forth. So your assistants can help you to plan lessons and so forth and give you ideas as to what you can do to incorporate some engaging activities in your online class. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you got a good tips on what you can do to be more productive as teachers as we finish 2021 and go forth into 2022. Okay, so if you have any comments, of course, leave it in the box below and I will try to reach out to everyone who has questions and so forth. Always like and subscribe the video, share with your friends. I'm trying to up my game, so I'm trying to get at least 3 videos per week on this platform. All right, so I'm gonna do my best and I expect you to do your best too. So subscribe and share it to your friends. All right, so take care. Bye.